Welcome, listeners, to the realm of the unexplained. The unexplained. The chilling. And the downright terrifying. You've tuned in to the Frequent Fear Podcast, where we delve into the darkest corners of the supernatural and beyond. And beyond. From encounters with extraterrestrial beings to spine-tingling tales of the paranormal, along with all things horror. No stone shall be left unturned. Hosted by paranormal investigator Brendan Luca, you'll be guided through your final destination. So dim the lights, lock your doors, and brace yourself for the unknown. Because here, fear has found a home.
Today, we're going to be discussing all the, I guess, good movies we saw last year.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, this year, last year.
This year, yeah.
Yeah, one or the other.
Because it's more just like, because we haven't, this year just started. So I feel like I'm probably going to delve into movies I saw last year too, because all the good movies last year are now streaming this year. So I've kind of like mix it up a bit, but I do want to start with the movie that we were talking about beforehand, Skinwalker. I think that was definitely like the most unique movie I think I've ever seen.
One of them. I mean, that movie is like, I don't know how to explain what I watched with that movie.
There's no other movie like that that you could watch, really.
No.
Besides like some weird like YouTube video probably.
Yeah, like that's analog horror like at its finest, right?
That's what that was, yeah. Just straight, just like scary YouTube video at midnight video.
Uncomfortable, bro. Super uncomfortable.
I was looking away at points just because it's like, not that it was like visually like scary, but it was just like I was just anticipating the jumps and everything.
Yeah.
And there weren't a lot of them, which was good. I think there was maybe only like a handful, maybe like 3 or 4 jump scares.
But what jump scares there were was like enough.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
It was so, I mean, and our fucking movie theater was too loud.
Yeah. Weren't we like the only ones in there?
We were the only people there.
Yeah.
Because it was like 3 p.m.
Yo, 3 p.m.
like a Tuesday,
watching Skinwalker and like
somebody else is there.
Yeah, nobody even wanted to go see it for some reason. They all heard like, I don't know, they probably heard weird stuff about it, and it's not their type.
It's like when you look up reviews for it, it's always just like either people say it's like the best thing ever or the worst thing. Like there's never like an in between.
Yeah,
for that movie.
For us, I think it was like one of the best things. Personally, at least for me, I like sat down when we were watching that movie. I was kind of like intrigued the whole way. I think when we first sat down though, for the first 20 to 30 minutes, I was like, maybe we made a bad choice watching this, because it was incredibly boring off the bat.
Yeah, it was boring.
It was a lot of, as they said, it was like mundane, just like the same thing over and over again, empty shots of like nothing pretty much.
But that's kind of like the vibe it's going for, right? Because it's like, just it's showing you something and it wants you to like, like you'll see like a dark hallway and you'll start thinking like, is there something there? Is there not something there? And maybe you like start seeing something like what you think you see is not there,
Eventually it was though,
Yeah.
Eventually it was. I mean, without saying any spoilers really, even though I'll like heads up anyone if we're gonna say spoilers, but when the movie progresses, it basically progresses a lot. Like it progresses quickly as far as it goes on. I don't know if you want to say any spoilers, but
I mean, is there really anything to spoil about this?
I guess not. It's all interpreted anyway.
It's just like, I mean, I guess the main, I mean, is that even a spoiler? I mean, I guess the spoiler would be like what happens to the kid.
Yeah.
So I guess we don't really have to go into that really, but just the scares and everything and like the faces.
Yeah.
Because you don't really see them a lot either, but just like that one scene where like the dad's just like sitting on the bed and you hear his voice very far away. Like it sounds like it's on like a tape recorder or some shit. Yeah. And it's just like, it's so creepy. And he's like, look under the bed.
Yeah.
And you see the POV shot of looking under the bed. And I'm just like, fuck, like this is so creepy.
I agree. I mean, that's the exact scene I had in my mind, is that scene, because without going like too far into detail, the dad is like talking to his kid, and his mom's on the edge of the other side of the bed, and you don't see any of their heads really, so there's no like visualization of how these people look. You just hear their voice, and their voice is very like dark and mysterious and creepy to a sense, where when he tells you to look under the bed, you're like, something's gonna be under that bed.
Yeah.
It's going on too long without anything not being in the dark.
There has to be
something under there. And
which gets you scared.
Yeah, which gets you super scared. And as that scene goes on, it gets even scarier. So I mean, that was the one scene that actually made me jump really hard.
That scene?
Yeah, because when it eventually pans over to the bathroom door in the parents' room, after the mom and dad like aren't there anymore.
Oh yeah.
Without going too far into detail, it gets really weird. So that's a scene that made me jump like crazy. I know a scene that made you jump, not jump, but like almost look away.
The ending scene.
Yeah.
Where it's just, I mean, I don't know, I guess like slight spoiler, slightly, but it's just like, someone just staring at you.
Yeah.
Literally just at you. Not even like anybody else. And I'm just like, I don't like this.
To give context, me and Peter and my girlfriend were at the theater, and at the end, without spoiling too much, the white noise kind of forms into like a person in a sense, and they're just staring at you for a very, very long time, and they're kind of asking you questions to the viewer. And it makes you super creeped out just for the fact that it's going on so long in the movie to the main characters. And now it's kind of going into your life in a sense in the real world. That's the creepy part of that.
I guess that's pretty much, like that's what that was supposed to symbolize. What does he say at the end? I forgot. He says something.
I think he's like, what's your name?
What's your name? Yes. Oh my God.
So he's getting like really personal with the viewer. Like he's just like, what's your name? What's your name? And that alone was like, I mean, the whole movie had its ups and downs as far as like creepiness goes, because a lot of the time you're getting the kids talking to each other and they're just like, what's going on? Like, did you hear the noises upstairs or whatever the case may be? And it ramps up in a lot of parts and trying to scare the viewer, which it like successfully does, Yeah,
it's a great horror movie from like a child perspective of just being scared and alone with this thing in the house, which translates well because like you start getting scared, like watching it.
Yeah.
And I kind of like, I mean, I don't know if I would ever rewatch it. Do you think you would ever like sit down and rewatch it?
Unless I was with like a friend probably rewatching it. And even then, I don't think that it would probably just be in the background as like I'm talking to my friend. Like, I don't know if I could ever sit down and rewatch it besides any other time, maybe Halloween. And even Halloween, I don't know if that would be a movie I'd want to like put on before a lot of other films, as good as it was.
Yeah, like this is like something that I feel like you would just like sit down someone that hasn't seen it before and just be like, yeah, you need to see this.
Yeah.
But even then, like, that might be like, you really have to pick a really particular person, because if it's someone that doesn't, like, would be bored of this, like, they're just going to be like, I don't want to watch this anymore. Like, because I was seeing a lot of people, like, on, like, Twitter or, like, just, like, Fandango and stuff, and them just being like, this is just a shot of a bathroom wall for 2 hours, you know, or just whatever, however long it is. And it's just like, I mean, I could kind of see that perspective, because, like, yeah, like, there were some times where, like, this movie was, like, in the beginning, like you said, it does drag. When things start to pick up, then you start getting, like, okay, you kind of, like, sit up a bit, and you're like, okay, something's happening now, okay.
Yeah.
But that initial, like, 15 to 20 minutes, I was, like, checking my clock. Like, I was checking my phone, just being like, you know, like, okay, how long has passed? Because it feels like forever.
It does. It goes on so long, and definitely if you have, like, a kid, this is not the movie to go to with them. You know what I mean? But even if
not.
You have, like, a teenager who's, like, on, like, TikTok often and all that, you know, like, I'm not trying to get into that, but if their attention span isn't there, then this is not the right movie.
Yeah,
you know,
low attention span, or, like, just there's not really, like, a story.
Yeah.
There's not dialogue really, besides just brief little things happening. It's a very different, unique movie. Like, I haven't really seen anything like this before ever, and that's why it's so interesting. Yeah,
super interpretive,
very much.
It's like, that's the one film that I think stood out with me for a while, though, because I remember going home that night and actually being, like, paranoid.
Yes.
You know, for a couple of days after watching that. And that doesn't happen to me often, especially, like, I feel like I'm pretty good with not getting scared from films, but that one, I was, like, actually at home going to sleep alone, right? And I looked at the dark and I was like, I'm kind of creeped out right now.
Yeah, because that's what you were seeing in the movie. Yeah. You were seeing dark corners of your house. Yeah. So then when you actually have to go and experience that, especially right after, I remember being like, you know, when I was coming upstairs, you know, after, you know, it's like midnight, I'm going up to my room and I'm kind of like turning on every light and I'm like flashlight on, and I'm like, you know, because I'm looking up at the stairs and I'm thinking like the fucking movie, like when they were like, you know, come upstairs.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm just like, fuck. I mean, like, and even though you don't see really anything happen to them or anything like lurking, because you really don't see any like ghosts or anything, but I'm still fucking kind of scared to go, like, you know, even though there was nothing there.
I mean, it's like, that's what it is. It's in your head at that point, but it's also not all in your head, because it's intended, it's happening in a sense, but we don't know exactly what's happening throughout the movie still.
Yeah, because I was reading an interpretation that someone thinks it's like, because there's a point in the movie where the kid, like, before bad things start happening, the kid falls down and starts crying,
right?
And the dad has to go and help him out in something. So people think that, like, oh, like, maybe from that moment on he's comatose, and this whole thing is some weird, like, coma dream, because, like, when you're in a coma, I think like this is like shit that, like, just like weird unexplainable, you have like weird unexplainable dreams like that. Like, someone I went to college with was telling me about shit like that they knew someone that was in a coma, and I asked him, I was like, did they say what it was like? Like, did they tell you? And they said it was like Nightmare on Elm Street. Wow. And that freaked me out so bad.
That is super weird, though.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
That I was in a coma, and when I was in a coma, it felt like Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't, like, that's scared. That's freaky.
Yeah, that's freaky.
That your brain starts doing shit like that.
That's how powerful it is, though, bro. How crazy is that? Like, your brain puts you in a space that's confined in a sense,
and you probably don't even know.
Yeah, you don't even know. You're probably feeling like you're living real life in a sense at that point, you know, until you get woken up and you're like, this is real? Like, this is real now?
That's terrible.
That's super scary. I mean, I don't even like thinking about that.
Yeah, no, I don't even, because it's just, that's a whole nother conversation in itself. The corridors of the human brain. But point is, maybe Skinwalker did happen, maybe it didn't.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you just watch it for what it is, it does definitely seem like it didn't happen really, like, because it is just so like there's especially towards the end of the movie when we get that weird like there's a shot where like you see the house very far away and it's just like darkness around it. So it's either like, you know, if it did happen, like something fucking insane happened, like the house got like sucked into like another dimension or something.
Like a void or something.
Yeah, like a pocket dimension into like I don't even know, like purgatory.
Right.
Or it didn't happen, and this, I mean, you know, it could just be the kid's nightmare. It could be what that person I read online said, like he just like this is like his like coma,
His head
escape. Yeah, his head injury.
It could be a variety of things. Shout out to the director though, bro. $50,000 and he made like $8 million off of that.
It was even cheaper, that wasn't it?
Yeah, something about 15, I think, maybe 15,000.
It was just in his own house.
Yeah,
He had his little camera.
smart dude.
Yeah, like he didn't have the kids, like I think it was always just 2 kids because there's not really like, it's all dubbed, you know, like the audio's all dubbed, so
Right.
so he didn't get paid actors. He were just pulled, it was probably like his little like cousins or something, just said, okay, go run around.
But they did a good job or whatever they were doing, you know.
Yeah.
It's fine. Yeah, whatever he did, it worked because that film is. I'll definitely always remember that film because it was just. It's too unique to not remember.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's definitely more of an experience than anything.
Yeah, especially a theater experience. That was a super big theater.
Seeing in the theater was cool. Very loud though.
Yeah, very loud.
As I said before, I think
There were some like jump scares that were like extremely loud.
too loud.
Yeah,
Like I was like holding my ears. I'm like, what the fuck?
like bleeding ears.
Yeah.
You know. But other than that, yeah, I'd recommend seeing that. That's a great film to watch once at least.
Yeah, if you're like, I mean, it's not in theaters anymore. Maybe they'll do like a re-release in theaters. But if it is, I would say go see that. Or if you can't, it's on Shudder. So that's the perfect movie to just sit in the dark by yourself and just watch that movie with all the lights off and just, you know, put the volume up a bit and just experience that.
If you're on like a YouTube binge one night, that's the one.
That's the movie.
Yeah, like if you're watching like the Lights Out short, that's it.
That's the epitome of like a YouTube movie. Yeah.
Absolutely.